Okay, next up, we have Mark Sowa from Education. Mark, are you ready?
All right. So not only am I a doctoral student and a doctoral candidate, but I've been a Division I swimming coach for over 20 years. And I've been the head coach here at the University of Idaho for a decade. But I've seen a problem. I've seen an alarming rise of anxiety and depression among student athletes in Division I sports. At first, I thought that this was an ethical problem due to the systemic decisions made by big time college athletic departments. Then I thought this was a mental health issue with such tragic examples of the suicides of Maddie Holloran at the University of Pennsylvania, down the road with Tyler Helinski at Washington State University. Both of these assumptions are correct, but there's also a deep existential crisis occurring with how outcome driven and elite level sports are alienating and dehumanizing student athletes. Simply, coaches and athletes need help. What this study is, this is a 12-week coaching intervention, a systematic coaching intervention with the goal of bracketing off the true essence of the personal sporting experience of the athlete through a process of reading, writing, and reflecting. We tested the effectiveness of this intervention with using two reliable and valid psychological instruments, both trying to test levels of trait anxiety and coping skills of athletes. The treatment group took part in 12 one-week training modules within their athletic training week. The week began with a reflection topic. On Wednesday, there was a reading that related to the topic. On Friday, they break into small group discussions. And on Saturday, they would have a prompted journal entry. Sunday, the coach/researcher would respond to those journals. In total, the treatment group wrote over 100,000 words. Now, what are our results? Early results are promising. We saw a statistically significant change in both levels of anxiety and coping skills with our treatment group. Conversely, we saw no significant change with either of the control groups. Interestingly enough, both of the pretest levels between the pretest or between the control group and the treatment group start off really very, very similar. Simply, a systematic, intentional coaching intervention can help levels of trait anxiety and coping skills. Practical applications, why should we care? Simply, if anxiety decreases and coping skills increase, performance will increase. But more importantly, we are going to be taking care of the overall experience of the student athlete so that they can have a healthy, enjoyable, and fulfilling sporting experience at the Division I level. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. I hope you can hear all the applause.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So interesting. As a former collegiate athlete, this is really an interesting study to me. What sports were you able to test? Was it just swimming?
Yes, just swimming. So our treatment group actually this is a Solomon 4 design. So we have two treatment groups within the actual treatment group, one with new coming athletes and then returners. And then we have two different control groups from two different institutions as well. So over 50 athletes total, all female Division I swimmers.
Excellent. And do you see this going national then through the NCAA as a type of intervention?
I hope so. There is obviously an inherent bias in this study, but not only do we accept the bias, we embrace the bias, because what coaching is, you're trying to force a positive effect on a student athlete. Same thing with education. You're trying to force a positive effect in the classroom. So I'm the coach and the researcher at the same time. And the really exciting part about this is we're doing this within the first 12 weeks of our season. And it's also during a pandemic, and you would expect to see levels of anxiety higher, but we were able to see a positive affect at the end of 12 weeks, which is essentially halfway through this pandemic. And so I'm excited about the results. We have a lot more work to do in terms of running the numbers. And then, like I said, with over 100,000 words written in those journals, there's a lot of data points in terms of doing a content analysis on what these kids are writing. But the subjective data was really, really interesting. And I'm excited about it. I think there's a ton of potential here. But I'm also a doctoral candidate and a coach. So to try to get coaches to buy into this pedagogy is interesting too. And that's going to be the tough part. The reason why we were able to do this is because this was within the 20-hour athletic week. We didn't go outside of that. So they have to give up training of motor skills in order to do this. But you can see that there is a positive affect, which is going to help performance in the end run. So this is interesting stuff.
Super. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.